Hello friends, I hope you're having a great February so far. Today I wanted to share with you the shadow technique. So I don't know how well you can see this, but can you see the writing and the lily that it's on this page? See how it's kind of looks really kind of 3D, and that's called a shadow effect. So to do that, I stamped it first in our craft white. So just, you know, the Whisper White pad. And I stamped it first because you really need to let it dry before you stamp your second one. Otherwise you'll get a little bit of muddled ink. So I used for this from the Lovely Lily pad here and from the Daisy Delight. I like a solid image for my words. Okay, so then you just stamp over it and a little to one side with your darker ink. So, through the magic of live video, I'm going to try to do this. Okay, so over top and a little to one side, and again, I'm not right over top of it. Oh, that didn't turn out too bad. And then the lily is the same thing. And I'm using the Gorgeous Grape for this. Okay, and I line it up and then come just a little bit to one side. Okay, and then see how you get that really kind of a 3D image, and then I just layered that on top of some of the paper from the Lily Impressions, also from Celebration. Thought that made kind of a cool card, you know? Okay, so then I did the same thing with our Poppy set. Okay, so I did this one with the poppy, and again, it was with the white, and then using the Poppy Parade, using the Painted Poppies and the Peaceful Moments stamp sets. But for this one, I went ahead and used my stamp positioner. So the Stamparatus, of course, is our stamp positioner, and if you're a little nervous, like when I was doing that second stamp, I really wasn't quite sure, the Stamparatus is a great way to do that. Okay, so I drew my line so that I could line up my paper, and I put it right here, and I stamped it in white first. Again, I did that ahead of time because you want to let that dry. All right, and then I would move it just a little bit over and a little bit up, and then I'll put my magnets here to hold that in place. And this way I can do the poppy and the words at the same time. And then I just ink that up. Okay, and stamp down. And pull that up. And then I've got that really kind of a 3D look. This one I then just mounted on some Coastal Cabana and used again the Poppy Parade Designer Series paper. Okay, so just one last thing for the shadow effect. I don't know if you've noticed on the lily pad, see how they have these two images? Okay, but when you look in here, there are not two images of every shape. So, let me show you what that's about. And I didn't even grab a piece of scrap paper. Okay. Alright, so for this one, if I want to stamp again in the Gorgeous Grape, stamp the image side. You've got a flat side that goes on the stamp block, and then you've got your image side. So if I stamp that here, and then I stamp the little leaf that goes underneath it here, okay, you can then take this stamp and turn it over and use the solid side on the back. Now I'm going to need to clean it off. Okay, so I'm going to put it back on the block. Now this time though, I don't want full strength, so I'm going to stamp off once and then stamp over it, and see how that gives you such a cool background. And then I can do the same thing for the lily. Put the raised side down and have the flat side here. And again, see how dark that is? I don't want it that dark, so I'll stamp off first and then stamp on here. So see how that makes cool kind of a background, kind of a shadow. So you can get the two images from the same stamp just by using one on the front and one on the back. So whether you do it with white and another color, or if you do it with the two sides of the stamp, they both create kind of a really cool shadow effect. I recommend using kind of a medium cardstock if you're going to do this. The light cardstock doesn't show the white that well, and the really dark cardstock doesn't show the darker ink that well. So I hope maybe you'll try this and let me know how you do. Have a great day.